everybody out there in YouTube land. Hopefully you can hear me and I don't have to throw on a headset. If you can't, let me know.
Hopefully you can hear me now.
Never mind, I just popped on the speaker and turned it off. So welcome to today's Sunday stream. I hope you like the new name of it. On YouTube, we're just going to keep it the Sunday stream, but I like, Eric and I were goofing this morning, and it is now the Great Midwest Live HLI Discord live stream or something like that.
We make the models on YouTube.
Yes, that's exactly what we're doing. So today I'll be working on parts for the Queen Mary 2. Posted a video yesterday. Not sure what you're working on, Kaylin. Looks like a semi.
No, it's the Revell 125th scale Land Rover Series 3 109.
Actually, and I heard you on your stream earlier, that is a big kit. Or it's a big box. The kit is about a normal size kit.
Yeah.
I actually have that one in my stash. When I first saw it, I don't know if it was when it was first released, but when I saw it, I was like, I need that. That's how.
Yeah, that's so cool.
Good. That's how my stash has ended up so huge. Is I see kits and I need them. Not I want them. I need them. And Donnie's working on an upside down Datsun 240Z.
Right?
I don't know if you realize that on Discord you're upside down. I wouldn't worry about moving your camera or anything, because when you start working,
I was trying to figure out how to fix that. I think I'll have to open up OBS and do it from there.
I think all you can do to fix that is actually physically rotate your camera.
No, I can fix it in OBS.
But
just can't fix it in Discord.
That's weird. When you fix it in OBS, is it going to fix it in Discord?
If you set OBS, set Discord to OBS Virtual, and then turn on the virtual camera in OBS.
I see. So you're doing things I don't do.
He's braver than I am.
So 300-pound leprechaun, glad to be back. The whole reason the Sunday stream went away was for about a month was because...
Look, I'm not upside down anymore.
I see that. But the whole reason the stream went away was the same reason that my Tuesday live stream went away. After we had to put Charlie down, that was a week, and then I got sick with the cold. I've still got it. I don't think it's a cold, but I have an appointment on Thursday to go see my PCM and say, dude, I've had this off and on runny nose for 3 months. Fix it. That's how you talk to your doctor, right? Hey, Kenny. Kenny's calling us kids. I believe, well, actually, I don't know. I know he's younger than both me and Donnie. Don't know for...
Kenny?
Yeah. Kenny's a youngin'.
Kenny? I want to say like 44, 43. If I remember right. I could be wrong.
Actually, I think he's 49.
That never happened.
Yeah, he's just said 50 this year. Because when you said 43, 44, I was like, but Eric is 10 years and like 3 or 4 days behind me. Eric turns 47 this year and I turn 57.
Ah.
And speaking of which, Eric is in the currently, or probably still, in the Sith Church. And I actually chatted with him a little bit on Discord today. He's not going to make it because his back is still screwed up because he fell on it again.
Oh,
Uh,
I heard him say something about that on Discord.
Yeah, he fell on it while he was on sleep meds. The only reason he knew that he had fallen was because he woke up and his back hurt and he had a quarter-sized bruise. So we need,
Wow, that's serious sleep meds.
yeah. I think he's just on Ambien. It's just that I think he's on
Well, that's a
Ambien.
serious dosage of sleep meds then.
Yeah. I mean, he's been on them for a long time. And Leprechaun, you're not that old hitting 60 this year. You know, it is what it is, man. I am older than almost. I was going to say,
Well, I'll get there someday.
I'm older than everybody in my office. Everybody in my office except for one. And I believe Jim is 64, but not planning on retiring until he's 67. Me?
Man, this thing had solid rubber tires. When's the last time you saw solid rubber tires in a model?
I don't know.
Not hollow. Solid.
Well, hollows I think is better because it's more realistic. But you know, anything that's not a plastic tire is a bonus these days.
yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I hate plastic tires.
Okay. So just to let everybody out in YouTube land see, did some work today on the hull of the Queen Mary. I've got certain spots taped off because I don't want the primer in there. Like the, if anybody watched my video yesterday, I called these what wings or something like that. They come out, they basically stabilize the ship in heavy seas.
They're called stabilizers.
Are they? There you go. But I didn't paint the inside of them. They're still white inside because what I'm going to do is when I paint this, which is a mixed color, over the bottom of the hull, I'm going to spray inside of them too. Let me see. You're right. It doesn't fit, and it barely fits when I've got my camera, when it's about 3 feet away from the camera. Yeah, but the stabilizers,
Big model.
it is. It's, well, and the funny thing is, it's the same size as my Titanic, my 350. Well, actually, it's a larger scale or a smaller scale, 1/400 versus 1/350 for my Revell Titanic. The Revell Titanic will sit right down inside of it, and I did a little bit of reading, and the actual size of the comparative size of the ships, the Queen Mary 2 is 3 times the size, you know, total tonnage and space wise, 3 times the size of the Titanic. So she's impressively large. Then so here's what I'm gonna. You know, Caitlin was talking about pretty boring watching people watching him paint. Well, during his live stream that ended right as I started this, it's kind of funny because that's what I'm doing today.
Painting?
Yes, I'm either painting or I'm still kicking around the idea of. Thanks, Lewis. I love it too. I'm still kicking around the idea of starting a model for the World War II tank group build. I have one that will fit into there. It's the one I won when Kenny was still able to stream back in November. The Soviet T-26 light infantry tank. Kicking around building that. But then I'm going to get sidetracked and work just on that.
Nice. I'm going to try to glue these panels on.
I just looked at the instructions and I didn't glue. Actually, it's kind of funny. It looks like the instructions show the painting key in step 10, telling me that I should paint in step 10. And then in step 11, I should put the motor pods on, or the engine pods, or whatever you want to call them. Yes. Yes, Lewis, there's a World War II tank group build.
Let me see.
If you go over to the main site, the rules should be there.
If 300-pound Leprechaun, if you mean what year was this kit made, it was made in 2002.
Hey, GB, welcome to the stream. Glad to have you, and glad to be back.
What's going on, GB?
So I'm going to try brush painting this deck. With this paint I mixed last night. Hopefully it will work. But speaking of which, so far have not had a problem with the Revell paints at all. Interesting. So what?
I've never wanted to try those.
Yeah.
And you said you were going to get them, so I figured I'd let you be the test monkey.
Yeah. Well, see, the only thing I've had so far is the rust for this color. This is 75% rust. Was really, really thick. I used a pipette, and it was very hard to get it out of the container and into here. The gray and the black went together well. The beige and the white, and I realized yesterday, because I've had them, I have them in a drawer for glue syringes. I have a few of these from when my wife was getting a I forget what it was, but she was getting shots for this, and I was giving them. Threw the needle away, kept the syringe. These work awesome when you poke them down in the paint. Pull, it sucks the paint up right away.
For a lot of things.
Pardon?
Those can come in handy for a lot of things.
Yes. I originally got them for glue, but they're going to be for using to transfer paint. And the 500.
They're awesome for cleaning out an airbrush too.
Had not thought about that.
You suck the water up in it, and you squirt it down in there, and
Yeah.
blast all the gunk loose.
Oh, I just glued myself to my project.
That's okay. If you don't do that at least once.
That is part of building a model. If
Exactly.
you don't glue yourself to the model at least once, you're doing it wrong.
Exactly. And Lewis.
That's what I tell myself anyway.
Lewis said he's disappearing in a minute for a bath, and Kenny said, "Thanks for the info, Lewis. We shouldn't be picturing you in the bath. Make sure you have your rubber ducky." 300-pound leprechaun said, "Okay, thanks, Donnie." And let's see who all is in right now. We've got
Sure,
Kenny.
you have your rubber ducky.
Yes. Well, we got Kenny. We have 300-pound leprechaun. Lewis, maybe still. GB, and that's all I see in the chat. So let me find.
USS Enterprise, is that the aircraft carrier or the starship?
If he's taking a bath, my guess would be that that's the carrier.
Hey, you never know.
That's just my guess. And I don't know if you guys do it, but I do it all the time. I'm on step 11, or actually step 10 because I'm painting the hull. But I'm working on step 13 because these decks need some paint. This one actually will get, instead of getting paint, let's see, make sure. This will be my first wooden deck on the Queen Mary.
Really?
Yep. In the build process, this is the first one.
Did and that came with the platinum kit?
Yes. You didn't watch my out-of-box review of the platinum, did you? Because it had, I think I went through all the parts. I didn't say where they went.
I know I watched Eric's, but
Yeah.
Eric's isn't a platinum though, is it?
No, Eric's is a standard one that was issued in 2004 that I bought and then sold to him when the platinum came out. So just to give you a quick look over, SCAD's a PE. All of this is PE. You know, the deck of the tennis courts and stuff. Actually, and this here, there's a decal for this, for the glass around the tennis courts. The PE replaces it.
Yeah.
And then all the decks that are actually visible outside have wooden decks for them, and then there's some brass parts. And don't let these parts fool you. Where this thing looks like it's an inch long. Actually, let me see if I can find it real quick. It is tiny.
That's one of the railings that's still not been put on my USS Enterprise aircraft carrier.
Because they're so tiny?
Because they're tiny.
So yeah.
This way, that kit's what, 1/400 scale?
Uh-huh. Oh yeah.
The USS Enterprise is 1/700.
Oh, good Lord.
Jordan?
So you see how long these are in the picture. Those parts are right there. Finger for
Oh,
reference.
that's not so small.
Finger for reference. They're about half the size of what it shows. The fun part of this is going to be painting the photo etch and not having the paint fall off. That's why I do these things. I love it. So, paintbrush. And by the way, when I realized how far I could get the paint to go with the Steinelrez, I was concerned I was going to not have enough of these two because these are both just sprayed. I'm pretty pleased with how much I'm going to have available. This, on the other hand, is all brush painting. Every one of these little decks, this entire deck. So this one's going to be interesting. I've been looking at it and I'm sitting here going, I may need to order more paint. Let's see. Okay, so Lewis confirmed that he has the aircraft carrier, the 1/350 scale aircraft carrier from Tamiya in the bathtub with him.
Oh, I wouldn't go.
Kenny has ran to go get a Dr. Pepper. And Lewis said that next time he would throw, well, and Kenny also said he would love to build it. He has to build it again. Lewis said next time he would throw every bit of aftermarket at it. He would, and hope it sticks. Photo etch. So Lewis, I'm not sure your comment 17. Oh, you're talking about Donnie's 1700 Enterprise, was it?
Yes.
Yeah, one 700 is not in Lewis's vocabulary.
No such thing.
Oh, why not?
Kenny agrees with Lewis. There is no such thing as 1/700 scale. And Eric is giving us a play-by-play. Church is over, and now he's in line to get Burger King.
He get us some too.
That's what I was thinking.
Damn it. I have. Oh, man.
So here, guys, here's a
This is why I
coverage
have
test.
pens again.
This little drop of paint, I'm going to try and cover this entire deck with.
I doubt that's going to happen.
You'd be surprised. This stuff is actually
Oh.
really good at covering. Plus, I can leave brush strokes because this actually is going to be between two decks. You're not going to see it unless you get right up on the model and stick your face into the deck.
You don't know it's there, Buck.
I know it's there, and I do. Haven't you heard Eric talk about what I tell him about the 6-foot test?
Yeah.
Looks good at 6 foot. It should be good enough. Plus, this color.
Why did you put out those 3D decals on the F-16 then?
Because I didn't realize I wouldn't see them at all. That was the first and last time I used those decals.
Well, that was not following your 6-foot rule because you're not going to sit inside a cockpit at 6 foot.
Right. I came up with that 6-foot rule recently. I think the F-16 actually is
After
what.
you put those decals on?
Yes, I think the F-16 is actually what caused me to get the 6-foot rule.
I'd love to get some of those decals for a Corsair, just for the heck of it.
Yeah. Get them. They're not bad. They look really cool. It's just that as soon as I put a pilot in there, I couldn't see any of them.
Well, don't put a pilot in.
Exactly. If you're going to use those
Have it
decals,
landed.
if you're going to use those decals, don't put a pilot in. And I agree with Shu that all the planes should be built, or most planes should be built in flight. So leave the canopy open, no pilot, and put the gear up.
Well, I have two Corsairs that I built landed, one Corsair that I built flying, and another one in the box.
See, I think when I build my Corsair, I want it. I think I want it on the ground.
And actually,
Well, I bought the Tamiya one specifically because you could build it with the wings folded.
Yeah, that's a nice kit.
I wanted one with the wings folded.
I have the Revell kit, which isn't terrible, but I would love to get that Tamiya kit.
Well, the Revell kit is a good kit, except for the wing folding mechanism, which if you build it with that folding mechanism looks absolutely terrible.
Does it?
Because the wings do not line up right. I couldn't get them to line up right anyway.
Yeah.
I ended up just taking out the little mechanism and building it with the wings down.
I actually thought you were going to say, if you build it, they will come.
They will.
Yeah, for the Revell kit, I definitely think I'm going to have it landed.
I think I actually have the Tamiya kit because of you, Donnie.
Oh, really?
Yes. So I have gotten all the mileage out of that drop of paint that I'm going to get. I mean, literally. Sorry about the strobing, guys.
We get a couple bottles of that Reveal paint and give it a try.
I mean, look at how dry that spot is. You guys saw how small a drop I used.
Yeah.
That is actually pretty good. And any streaking, like right here, doesn't matter because that's supposed to be the wooden floor. Or I use
If you mix just a tad of water with it, there wouldn't be no streaking.
Yeah, true. The true test is going to be here, and Oz Scale Modeling on YouTube, I think that's his channel name, is building the Queen Mary 2 Platinum Edition as well. And he's already worked on that, and he's using a Tamiya paint and having to do dual coat, multiple coats, 2 coats each, which I think I'm going to end up having to do as well. But I'm doing things on this model I've never done before, like mixing my own paint, because that's what it says in the instructions, and I'm having a blast with it. I'm realizing I have skills that I never use because I'm afraid to use them. Things like mixing paint don't really scare me, but they're not my real forte. They're out of my comfort zone.
I don't mind mixing paint, but I'm partially colorblind. So what I see a color looks like, and I mix it to match what I see, and in reality, it's not the same.
That's okay. If somebody says anything to you that it looks wrong, tell them it's in my world, it looks right.
You're not living in my world.
Exactly.
I love sprue goo.
Right?
Yeah. I made one batch that was super thick, and it's almost too thick, but I actually use it a lot for filler because it's nice.
You mean this stuff?
Yep.
I have to make some of that.
It's a lifesaver.
It is.
Wait, I thought it was like MEK and sprue. You can make sprue
Right,
with...
make that too.
This is, to me, an extra thin and sprue.
So, but Kaylin just said it's a lifesaver, which is a hard...
It is.
Which is a hard candy.
Hey, do you actually know what's in a lifesaver?
I don't want to know.
Exactly.
So I'm looking over at the chat. Kenny says he agrees with Lewis about, I think I read that actually before. No such thing as 700 scale. He gave Eric an order for a double Whopper with cheese combo, large with a Coke and a 6-piece nugget. Eric said he loves 700 scale kits. Apparently, oh yeah, Kenny misspelled nugget. Great shelf size. That is true, Eric. And Kenny said, red, green, colorblind, unite.
That's what I am, red, green, colorblind.
So, I think, because that's all you're going to see of it, that came out fantastic.
Nice.
Need to do a little bit of white in there, but I'm going to let that dry first. And it's funny because I was looking at my reference pictures. This area is lit up like nobody's business. I think it's awesome they have the bottom of the pool sticking up to meet the bottom of the pool here. But I'm not sure how I'm going to put LEDs in here. I'm thinking probably what I'm going to do is back here. There's a gap.
I would suggest checking very carefully, but
yeah, that too. But back here, there's a gap. And my reference pictures,
Hang on a second, guys.
you can actually see the lights themselves. So I'm thinking, gonna run my wire through here and just throw probably a 6 strip, I don't think 9 will fit, of LED tape back here. By the way, this right here, guys, when we keep talking about editing, and I always say I edit while I'm filming, this is where I would pause the film or pause the recording. I don't know if you saw that today, Kaylin, the discussion that actually it was on your live stream. You should have.
Yeah.
Everybody's like, tells me I need to edit, and I'm like, I don't want to. I'm not going to. Every time Kenny says something about editing, I tell him editing is a 4-letter word.
Oh, come on.
See, there he goes.
Yeah.
You're no fun. Just edit. Editing is a 4-letter word that you do by yourself and you need to clean up afterwards. Love water. So let me see if I can just scrape this out like I have before. I love this thing.
Getting your home.
My question is for Kenny. Has Kelly ever come downstairs and caught him editing? Well, I'm thinking about it. I'm just looking because I went through all of my LED strip yesterday and had a bunch of them over here. Kenny responded yes, and I jumped up from my desk when about the comment of, has Kelly ever caught him editing? Okay, Louis, that last one I would want to hear, and then I'd say, what happened?
What did he say?
He said, my vids have to be edited, else you would hear me shout, leave your sister alone, or sit down and shut up, or no, that isn't supposed to go in that hole. I'm sure it's something like when my daughter decided one day when she was 4, my wife and I were in the kitchen. Francisca and her were in the living room. Francisca was watching TV and Lisa was up to no good. She had gone into the closet because we lived in a very relatively small apartment. She had gone into the closet where I had screws and stuff like that. And in Germany, the plugs are round. So when she got a screw and stuck it into the hole, stuck it in the socket, all we heard was bap. We heard and then Lisa started crying. So we run in there and we're like, what happened? And we asked Francisca, what happened? She's Lisa's crying and everything. Ah! And Francisca's like, Lisa was over there by the wall, and then she jumped across the room and started crying. She had taken a sheetrock screw about this long and stuck it into the socket. And then she jumped across the room and started crying because the screw was still stuck in the socket. I looked at that and I'm like, oh my God, that kid almost died. So I went, flipped the circuit breaker, and then I got my insulated wire strippers and pulled the screw out and said, don't do that ever again. It was funny shortly after it, but it was like, oh my God, kid, how stupid can you be?
They don't know.
You know, as much as I would love to lay the tape in here sideways like that, that ain't gonna work. It's too tall. I don't have any narrow.
I have a sneaking suspicion that this is going to. Alright. Just gonna let it sit there and think about what it did. All of that dry. I'm gonna have to do a little bit of touch up, but not as much as I thought I'd have to.
Okay.
Oh man.
That is awesome, Lewis. He said, with our kids, we are very honest with them. So when my son came down swinging a tampon around and shouting, I've got a pet mouse, I said to the wife, you can explain that one. That's hilarious. So since this is not going to be tall enough for...
I don't know what to do now because I gotta wait for that to dry.
Get a hammer and start pounding on the other parts?
No, this one.
So which part? Are you waiting for it to dry?
Waiting for the side panels to dry.
Oh, that you just glued onto the car?
Yeah, I just glued them on, but I had to fill in a bunch of gaps with sprue goo, and that takes a little bit of time. I need to clear coat everything, so I might do that tonight.
Okay, so now it's time for me to do my impression of a mad scientist with LEDs. Because on the actual ship, when you're looking into this part from the aft, actually, never mind, it's taped over. I was going to show it on the model itself. And they're not windows with glass. On going back to the scale, it doesn't mean that I had a 1/400 scale Titanic to go in the bin because it was too small. Going back to the scale, that doesn't exist since scales that don't exist. A 1/400 went into the bin because it was too small. It's actually a fair size ship. I have one. Not right, Lewis. Making an old man get up. I believe this is actually 1/400 scale. It was 1/350 on the box. My LEDs are still working inside there. Matter of fact, just for comparison, this is a 1/400 scale. I gotta move it back by the tail. This is also a 1/400 scale. It's not significantly longer. Thanks, Lewis. This is actually the first kit I ever lit. It's not significantly longer or wider, or, where it's going to be significantly larger is it's built up quite a bit. And you can see back here, my flag is broken. This is in rough shape. It's been through 3 moves, but I still love the
What
kit.
scale is Titanic?
This one? This one's
Yeah.
either 1/350 or 1/400. I think it's 1/350 actually, because it should be a little bit smaller compared to this one. But yeah, this is
I mean, at the time, the Titanic was a huge ship, but nowadays it's not really huge.
at the time it was the largest cruise ship in the world. And the Queen Mary II at this time is the largest ocean liner in the world because she's the only ocean liner in the world. Only one that is actually moving back and forth. And it's funny how I ended up with that Titanic. My wife saw me looking at models. That was the model that got me back into the hobby. She saw me. I was looking at.
Really?
Yes, I was looking at it, and then she bought it, and it just showed up one day, and she said, "Here." And so I started working on the Titanic. It was the first ship I lit. Lots of firsts on that kit, and that's why it's in really rough shape. I got a couple of parts to glue back onto her because she's moved. Let me think. She took me 8 months. We lived in Cash's house. Then we bought our house. So that was one move. Then from California to here, that was the second move. Actually, she hasn't moved that many times, just twice. This video needs editing. No.
That's plenty of moves model, though.
Huh?
That's plenty of moves for a model, though.
Yeah, it's hard to keep a model viable through one move, let alone 2. That's part of the reason I stopped building for so long, because while I was in the Air Force and subject to move every few years, it just didn't make any sense. Okay, I sidetracked myself. I was looking for LEDs. Now that is the way to go. I could actually solder these if I wanted to. I'm good enough to do that. But only
What are
down.
those, Oedo?
think they're 0805s. I've had them for years. Only Donnie is good enough to solder these.
I have done it successfully.
I know. That's why I say only you can. But
The only thing that ticks me off about those is getting the first side soldered is easy. Getting the second side soldered without warming the whole thing up enough to make the first side come unsoldered is hard.
Lewis, you should. It is a great kit. The platinum one is really good. And if you look up Ozscale Modeling on YouTube, he is well further than Eric and I, but he's doing a really awesome job. And Leprechaun, you're absolutely right. Model building and the military don't mix well. You lose a lot of stuff. A lot of stuff gets dropped from a second story window. Or actually, the best one I have ever seen, and I made that poor German guy come all the way back upstairs. Yes, German guy, about 60 something years old. I'm out on the balcony. We're on the fourth floor as he's, or no, yeah, we were on the fourth floor as they're moving our stuff out, and he walks down there with his, with the, was a VCR, wasn't even a Blu-ray player, but just grabbed in his hand like this, and he tripped and threw it. And he looked up and saw me watching. And I said, "Bring it back up." Are you still live on your channel, Kaylin?
Not anymore.
Well, Chris just said you are.
I just ended it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I guess I was still live.
That's okay. I mean, on your channel, it was, everybody saw, I believe, just you and me talking. But here,
Yeah.
Everybody sees everybody and me talking and you talking and Donnie talking. And I think this is the way I'm going to put lights in here.
Exception.
So it's going to be smaller hole if I drill for the SMD than if I drill for the resistor.
I didn't know that Stynylrez or that Badger even had paint, because when I Googled Badger paint, all that comes up is the Stynylrez primer. I can't
Well, they
find.
have a couple of different lines of paint.
Do they?
Yeah, they have the Freak Flex, meant to be, flexible paint.
Uh-huh.
And what's the other one? I can't remember now.
Sorry, guys.
They also have some transparent paints. They call them ghost paints.
You need to be careful when you're painting a ghost. Just saying. That's not going to go through. Maybe. It goes through right up until it gets to the resistor.
Minotaur, that's their main paint line. They have the Minotaur and the Freak Flex and Model Flex and.
Don't make me flex.
They have several different lines of paint. The Metalsmith paints are good too.
I have one word for this. Damn it. I scratched
Well,
up.
there went your PG rating, Buck.
Yay! Oh, sorry. Forgot to get rid of that earlier. looking around and I'm like, where is my little blue Tamiya drill? Let me see. Let me look on the stream, because believe it or not, I have found things on the stream that I couldn't see right in front of me. Oh, you know what? Hey, KX4. Welcome to the stream, and happy Sunday. There it is.
Frivis, I just read his message. That's fucking quit messing with my mouth. I bet it was a trip, wasn't it? Oh man.
That's not
Wrong.
Oh, I forgot I can't. Here, I'm trying to look at Donnie's engine.
Here you go.
You should be able to click your own and bring it up just like that.
Yeah, I just did. Nice. Yeah, did you probably missed my whole rant about on the Land Rover, and I've actually noticed this with a lot of car models, is they don't include like certain important things like an alternator.
Well, this one has all of that. There's the alternator way down there. I don't know if you can see it or not, but it's down there.
Yeah, that one has nice detail.
But
The vehicle?
oh man, a lot of Tamiya kits don't even have an engine.
Are you serious?
Yeah. A lot of Tamiya kits, the hood doesn't open. They don't have an engine. They have like the bottom of the engine molded into the chassis down there, but there's no actual engine.
Yeah. That's crazy.
I was going to get a model of a 300Z Tamiya until I found out it doesn't even have an engine.
Huh.
I mean, it's not like it's actually going to have the hood opened and look in there that often, but still, I want an engine.
Yeah.
Where's my motor, damn it?
All right.
That was actually a rotary engine was the very first engine I ever stripped and rebuilt.
Mazda
Yep.
RX-7.
Yep. That was, I liked those motors.
Oh man, those motors were awesome.
Yeah.
Especially when they put the sequential turbochargers on them.
Yeah. They were, and it was such an easy engine to work on. I just don't understand why they didn't, more companies didn't use them, and then they just kind of nobody ever.
Well, those Wankel rotary engines have to be so precise.
Yeah.
They're really difficult to make, and they wear out.
Yeah, they were. We'd get a lot of them in at the shop. Yeah, that was fun. That was the very first motor I ever rebuilt, and it was fun.
At one time, GM and Ford both were working on a rotary engine, but Mazda was the only one that was actually made it work.
Yeah. Yeah, those were fun little cars too. The Z's.
Oh, I loved them. I had one about, I don't know, 12 years ago, something like that. Just like that one.
Yeah.
That's why I bought this kit.
Yeah, they were fun.
I like it.
It's like driving a go-kart with 170 horsepower, you know?
Yeah.
They didn't weigh anything.
That was funny because in my shop class in high school, that was where we rebuilt that one engine, and soon as we got it all put back together and put back in the car, some stupid knucklehead sitting there revving it, and our teacher, who was the shop teacher, he came running out and he was yelling at him. He's like, "Don't frickin' do that to that old motor!" And he was all yelling at him. He's like, "You don't do that to rotaries." But he was sitting there goosing the engine, revving it up.
You don't do that to rotaries, and you don't do that to any engine immediately after rebuilding it.
Rebuilt it either way, yeah. And it was like, geez, Louise. But
Teenagers.
Yeah.
That's why we can't have nice things.
Yeah, I remember it was funny because we also had this old, I think it was like a Marauder, and it was an automatic, and it stalled when I was pulling it into the shop, and everybody made fun of me. "Oh, you stalled an automatic," and it's like I didn't stall anything. It wasn't running.
I've stalled an automatic before.
Yeah, it was. I think it had bad gas in it, but I just remember like they were giving me a hard time about it, and it's like.
Well, here's a neat trick to try sometime. Here's a neat trick to try sometime. Start a 4-speed out in third. I did that back with my mom. One of the few times my mom let me, they tried to teach me to drive. She let me drive the Fiesta, and I somehow managed to start it in third.
Wow.
So what do you guys think? It's blown out right now, but I think that works.
Nice.
And instead of doing
go ahead.
Instead of doing the light blocking with paint, I'm probably going to put I'm either putting 3 or 5 LEDs on this deck. The rest of them are going to come in from the back. This one had to come in from behind or in front of the pool there. But I'm going to light block a direct area. I don't know if you guys can see.
Right.
There. You see that spot? I'm going to put that's underneath. I'm not going to worry about that. Well, actually, I'm going to worry about that because I don't want the ambient from the bottom to. Okay, maybe I'm not going to light block the bottom. Never mind. That gives me more light in there. But on the top, I don't need that in the pool area. So I'm going to use some aluminum tape to block that.
You don't want it glowing?
Not really, not like that. I mean, it's a definite spot. If I do any glowing for the pool area, it's going to be fiber optic. This is
have it rippling.
Pardon?
Should have it rippling, so it looks like like a rippling pool.
Actually, I have some water effects, and I have 2 things. I have a SolarRes knockoff that comes with its own LED light, and it kicks over in 60 seconds, I think it is. But,
Nice.
well, and the 30 or the 10 30 millimeter bottles, so 300 millimeters plus light, costs less than the 250 millimeter bottle of solar res. But I'm not sure if I don't think I'm going to use that for the pools. When I
Does
did,
it work pretty good?
from what I've seen, it does. But I think what I'm going to use for the pools is I bought this while I was working on the Ida Blue, and I've never used it. So I guess I'm going to be trying this out. And oh, by the way,
Water.
one thing to remember with the realistic water, I mean, everything I've ever seen says don't shake it.
Well, no, you don't want bubbles in it.
Yeah. Thanks, Kenny.
It would take forever to get all those bubbles out.
Yeah. Kenny said looking good. And actually, Chris a little while ago said he's not a fan of curb kits either. And Kenny's eating good stuff again and telling us about it. Why would you tell people that you're having biscuits and gravy? That's just mean.
He just wants to share.
Yeah, he's supposed to bring some for everybody.
You know, that's funny. I have never had the portholes or whatever you want to call them.
Windows.
Huh?
Windows.
Oh, no, the actually. Oh, he said, I mean, I brought my phone so I can eat and watch. No, the injection holes. See those injection holes? They're in a spot you won't see them, but they're also in a spot that is going to be really cool to be able to use them, at least some of them. I like it.
For what?
Use it for a spot to set the. I need at least one more LED back here. I think I'm going to put two more, so I'm going to put one right next to the pool, one back here right next to the pole. Ah, Shoe's awake. He's not here, but he's awake.
You on Discord?
No, he posted on Hobby Link International, and I got a notification of it.
Oh. He needs to come back on the stream more. He's the only one to work on the Enterprise D.
Yeah.
I'd work on it, but I canceled it.
What?
Yeah. Well, it's not, I don't know. I'm not convinced that it's going to be all that they're
It's not.
to be. And I'm not willing to, I would much rather put time and effort into a good large size plastic scale kit.
Right. Have you been watching The World of Wayne build his?
And you know what? More power to him, but I'm not gonna take the time. It's with the Bismarck. I'm already putting hours and hours to the Bismarck that it's not worth my time to take that onto the Enterprise right now. So, because if it was
Well, he's got to the point now where he's going back and taking all the windows out that he put in. And he's filling them with resin, like solar red.
Yeah. And it's gonna
I
look
mean, a
like
$1,600 model kit, you should not have to do that.
you shouldn't. No, it's ridiculous. But Yeah, and it's funny because even with all of it's like Mike Lehman, he makes all these stupid add-ons and mods for it, but by the time you get done paying Mike Lane, you're another $1,000 into it, and it's like,
Right?
really? And I found a secret. So on the Ecto One, Mike Lane, he sells the carpet kits for it, and they're ridiculously expensive. Well, I found the carpet that he uses. He just makes the form for it and cuts it out and then sends you those pieces pre-cut. Well, for $19, I can buy a whole sheet of the same carpeting, and then I'll just make stencils and cut it out myself and do it for less than.
$20.
Yeah.
Right?
So that's what I'm gonna end up doing on mine.
Hey, I don't blame you one bit for that.
I did
It's
something.
like, so I understand a lot of people that that they're willing to have something pre-cut, but for something as silly as carpeting, I mean,
I mean, he doesn't like mold it to the floorboard or nothing. It's just
No.
cut and that's it.
Yeah, it's not molded or nothing. And I'm like, you
Wow.
could lock it for cheaper than even putting in that carpet sticker. But yeah, it was kind of the same deal with IXO collections. They have on their Peugeot. I thought the carpets would be molded, but they're not molded. It's all separate strips, and you put in the separate strips, which makes sense, and that's the cheapest way to go about doing it in mass production. But it would look way better if you flocked it.
Crazy.
So this is what I put into the DeLorean.
Yeah, you buy that stuff on.
Well, the problem is this is not as thin as Mike's stuff, and it's not pre-glued, but it worked. And after the DeLorean, I looked at it and I'm like, I can't even really see that much, so I'm not even going to worry about it on the Ghostbuster car.
Yeah.
And all those mods everybody puts in, it's great, but how often are you going to notice them?
Yeah.
I mean, the Enterprise, I'm going to continue to build the Enterprise. I'm going to finish it. Maybe. It all depends on where, how the saucer is attached. If they don't have it attached, I'm going to contact them and I'm going to say, okay, I'm going to end up being part of the class action suit against you because you misrepresented this thing, or you're going to pay me the money back so I can ship it to Donnie.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think they've already misrepresented it.
They have big time.
I mean, it's a $1,600 model kit. And I realize it's huge and there's a considerable amount of metal in it. But still, it's a $1,600 model kit with light leaks all over it. And it doesn't even have all the navigation lights and all that it should have.
Yeah, for as much lighting that's already in it.
Well,
I mean, $1,600.
I watched a video that I thought was just awesome yesterday about their Titanic. This guy said it looks good. It's it's got MDF instead of actual wood in it. And he was talking about it and he said, yeah, it looks good. It's not bad, but I'm not going to build this one. I'm going to go and buy the
Trumpeter.
No, not even the trumpeter. He's going to buy the I forget the company. It's an Italian company. Mamoli, I think it was that he said. He's going to buy theirs for £350. And the ochre, he mentioned the ochre one, which is 1/250 scale, I think, or 1/300. It's a little bit smaller. for under $300. If you buy the paint, you spend just a hair over $300. So I'm waiting until I'm going to spend my $1.95 or $4.95, whatever it is, to get the first 2 packs, and then as soon as they arrive, I'm calling them up, and I'm going to say, "This is the worst kit you guys have ever released. Cancel." I already know I'm going to cancel.
See, the thing is, they advertise these as model kits for people that just want something they can bolt together. People that don't really know how to glue a model together.
Yeah.
But then if you sit and watch The World of Wayne, I don't think I've seen a single one of those kits that he's built that he hasn't had to glue part of it together.
Yeah.
Stuff that's supposed to snap together, he's had to glue together to keep it together.
The glue doesn't bother me.
Even the concept of what it is wrong.
Gluing the parts together doesn't bother me at all. I don't think it will.
Right, but you are a modeler.
Yeah. It's just the whole way they did some of the stuff.
Yeah, and part of my problem with it is, so like for literally, so let's take the Bismarck for instance. Almost every part they want you to use super glue, and even with plastic on plastic. And part of that's because probably at some point you're going to have to take it back off because they did the steps wrong, and you should have put,
Here, wait, Kaylin, let me say that for you. They fucked it up.
Yeah.
It might not be styrene plastic. It may be ABS or PVC or whatever.
Yeah, but to me, it's like, okay, well, for my problem with super glue on a lot of parts is it's not going to withstand the test of time. It's, parts are going to start falling off after 2 years.
Parts on my. Actually, I hate to bash Agora because they're one of the best ones out there. Parts on my Terminator are falling off before I finish it.
Yeah.
Parts on the DeLorean fell off before I finished it. What they're doing is they're forcing everybody to go back to basic modeling.
What would be nice is if it was, like let's say for instance you wanted to get, like the Trumpeter 1-200 Titanic. If they broke that up into parts and sent you that in build sections and let you pay a monthly fee for that, to me that would make more sense, and I think there would be a market for it. But at the same time, it's like Lewis said, it's almost worth just saving up the money and just buying the full kit, because you don't want to deal with the headache of, we're waiting for parts, or you're that way you just have everything there and ready to go. And so it's like, there used to be companies out there that would do, like, you would just pay the monthly fees or whatever, and then they would send you the whole kit once it's paid off.
Well,
that to me just seems like it makes just as much sense as these part work builds.
Here's the problem with trying to do that with something like the Trumpeter. The Trumpeter requires a lot of skill.
Yeah.
By the way, Kenny said stick with styrene, and then he said, damn, he said that in first sergeant tone. No, and see, that's the thing, is I like the part works. They're fun. They're a great thing to do on on my Tuesday stream. They take, it's one of them things you disengage your brain and just do. Whereas
Right.
this little piece here, just this one piece, so that I can glue it into the hull and then glue this piece on top of it, I'm probably going to spend about 4 hours on it.
Right.
Because I want lights and I want them to look a certain way.
But the thing is, when they first come out with the Enterprise D, I was really tempted to start trying to save up and buy it. And then I saw all the problems you had with it, all the problems Word of Wayne had with it. And if he's having problems as many of them as he does, and he's having to go back to basic modeling stuff to get the thing built, and it still costs $1,600, I'm like, no. I could buy Enterprise models for way less than that, and they're not as big, but no.
Quarter of the amount into.
Right.
So what they're banking on is people like me.
Yeah.
Who get a certain, if I get to stage 10 or shipment number 10, I'm now up to $700 that I've put into this. I'm going to finish it.
Well, I also think they weren't planning on.
More than 5 people to subscribe? Sorry.
Well, I don't think they were planning on people that are, not rivet counters, but people that are so focused on detail and attention to detail to be the ones buying the particular part work builds. And I think that's where my issue comes into it is I have a certain expectations, and it's like if I was like say for instance I was to go and buy a new mailbox, and I wanted a really nice secure locking mailbox that was $400 or $500, and for $400 or $500 that thing had for damn sure better keep thieves out of it. But I ended up getting a plastic mailbox sent to me that can just be opened by your bare hands for $400. I'm going to be a little cheesed, and that's kind of the way I look at it.
Right. And I can even overlook the fact that every little detail is not exactly like it should be and all that. It's just that a $1,600 model, when put together the way they say put it together, shouldn't have light leaks all over it. And it shouldn't be so poorly engineered that you have to flip 7 different switches just to turn all the lights on.
Yeah. And go through and the batteries, oh my gosh. I can't.
Right? There's 3 batteries just in the Cobra neck.
That is my biggest problem, is that the thing is not wall wart.
My Ecto 1 will be powered by a wall plug because I have the power mod for that, and then the Eleanor will be, and the Bismarck will be, but nobody has figured out how to get the Enterprise because there's so many different components to it.
Because it's not done far enough yet, nobody's figured it out. I'll tell you exactly, if I get to the point where I want to wire that to a single wire, it's easy. I run a wire from each battery box to the next one over, do them all up in parallel, and run it to a wall wart.
Yeah, it would have been really, really easy to do if they just designed it that way.
Yeah.
Correct. Yeah.
But it would have took that extra 5 minutes of effort that they didn't want to do.
Yeah.
Oh man, we'll only make $1,248 if we take time to do that. We could make $1,260 if we don't.
Yep.
I was surprised too that it wasn't an option, because when
Well, none of their models have an option for a wall wart, do they?
No, none of them come that way.
Well, actually, the X-wing does, or never mind, that's the Agostini.
But the X-wing's not Eagle models.
Yeah, a different company. Which apparently they're gonna repop it.
Yes, they should be repopping it through Van Home.
What about the Millennium Falcon?
I have not heard anything about that.
And then how Model Space had that, was it an F-14 or something?
Actually, I never caught that. I'm thinking anything that was on Model Space is probably going to show up on Fan Home eventually.
Well, because it's funny because Model Space is now kind of pushing some of their stuff in the UK, but in the US it's sold out, or it's not available or sold out.
Yeah.
And so I think that's true. I think they're going to switch everything to Fan Home. But at this point, it's like I agree with Kenny. I just would rather stick to styrene. Unless something really comes out that blows my mind that
Well, see, and that's the thing, Kaylin. I have many things that blow my mind. And just make sure.
Still waiting for the perfect JJ prize lighting kit. I'm gonna attempt to try to get it to work with Arduino, but
that's what I'm gonna do.
Yeah, it's what I was trying to figure out though is a lot of people put 4 LEDs in the nacelles and have those kind of rotate. But I wanted to see if I did the micro, the really tiny SMDs.
Well, Spencer gave me a link, and I'll try to hunt it up and put it on Discord later. And he gave me a link for this thing on Amazon. It's a little ball with counter-rotating propellers on it. He said a friend of his built the Into Darkness Enterprise, the Reveal kit, and bought 2 of these little flying balls, took it apart, and took that transmission out for the counter-rotating props.
And put it in there?
And put it in the nacelles and just built, 2 cross-shaped blades and attached it to that transmission so they counter-rotated just like it did in the movie. And those little flying balls were like, $14 each.
Nice.
I mean, it's $28 extra, but still, you actually get the counter-rotating blades in the nacelles.
That would be cool.
Be very cool.
I need to go ahead and buy those before they're not available anymore.
Nah, wait until just after. Then try and buy them.
Right.
That always works for me.
I still can't believe how fast the SR-71 sold out.
I can, with the number of people who are going after that kit.
Yeah. I'm glad I got mine, but I won't see it until March.
What kit's that?
The SR-71.
Oh, I want one of those.
Yeah, I pre-ordered mine before they were sold out, and I think Andy said
it's already sold out.
Oh, it sold out the next day.
Oh shit!
Yeah. You can still find them on a few websites, like if you get it shipped from the UK, but a lot of those places are sold out too.
Hopefully, I'll be able to find one when I get my bonus check, because that's when I was planning on buying it.
Yeah.
I don't have the money to buy it right now.
Yeah, I'm going to hold off on building mine for a long time because I want to see what aftermarket stuff comes out for it.
I'm sure you'll find one You can find one, Donnie, at Scalpers R Us.
Yeah.
Right?
I'll sell you mine for $400.
See? Didn't even have to go to Scalpers R Us.
I think I'll pass. Nothing personal.
So, I guarantee if I put it on eBay for that much, I'd sell it in a minute.
Probably. That's the crazy thing about eBay. You can find great deals and absolutely horrendous deals.
Yeah, I don't. There's like some people that like I hear all the time. Oh, I bought this huge, like, nice bundle of kits, and they got like a bundle of all these different kits for maybe like $50 or something like that, and it came with like 6 or 8 kits, and they're really nice kits, and it's like, how? I've never seen
Did that once. I got the K7 space station, the 650 Enterprise. Oh yeah, the Klingon battle cruiser, and there was one more. It was 4 kids, and I paid $40 for them.
Wow.
What you have to find is a widow that doesn't know what she has.
This was actually from a pawn shop.
That too. They don't care. They just want to make their money.
I heard
Right. Well, I was just sitting there at work at lunch scrolling through eBay, and I happened to see it. And I was like, hell, I'll bid on that. And like 5 minutes later, it said, you won. I was like, oh, shit, I wasn't even planning on winning that.
Nice.
I have about 40 or 50 kits that I got like that. And I'm not kidding when I say 40 or 50.
Yeah,
How do we know?
that my 1937 Chevy convertible, the Lindbergh kit. That one I got. I think it was like $8. I bought it for $8
Oh, nice.
and free shipping, and the guy was so pissed, and I could tell he was just by his response to me, and so I was like, okay, whatever. I was happy I got a good deal. Well, he sent it to me in a flat rate envelope, and the box was like, he like crushed it and like rolled it. And I
Is
was
he
like,
pissed?
he was, but it didn't damage the kit.
But why was he pissed? I mean, he sold it to you.
Yeah, well, and that's the thing, and because I had emailed him back, and I was like, dude, why, like, what the hell, like, the box is all crushed, and he was like, well, most people that buy them plan on building them, and I was like, excuse me, like, I plan on building it, but that's no reason for you to crush it up, and because you sold it for $8, which is what it's worth, because it's a Lindbergh kit, you know. But I don't know, I think he thought it was worth more than that.
Then he shouldn't have sold it for that.
No, he had it as a bid, and I think I bid and won.
Right, but even if you put something up for a bid, if you think it's worth a certain amount, you just put a reserve for that amount, and it won't sell if it don't bring that much.
Yeah. Yeah, I bought another one I got on eBay was the Heller Bentley. What is that? The Bentley 4.5 liter blower. And that one, actually, I've never built a Heller kit before. And I think there's a Revell, it's either a Revell or an Italeri that is the same thing, the Bentley blower. And I guarantee that that's a nicer kit than the Heller kit, but I'm kind of eager to put the Heller one together and see how it looks.
Didn't Revell end up buying Heller?
That's what I don't know, because Heller seems to have a lot of the older vintage vehicles, which I don't remember Revell ever producing them. But Monogram might have. I don't know. But yeah, that one was for the most part. I mean, it looks like an okay kit, but somebody on HLI was building I can't remember if it's Revell or Italy, but of the Bentley blower, and it looked beautiful when it was done.
Something to remember is that if a kit looks beautiful when it's done, that doesn't always mean the kit was beautiful.
No, well, and
It could just be a very good modeler.
yeah, that's for a fact.
Like this guy, Kalen, I know, never builds worth of crap. I'm joking.
Well, funny because that Bird kit, that even though it's a cheesy, really inexpensive kit, there's so much potential for it in the long run. And then like a lot of people dog on Minicraft, and the only thing I have a problem with Minicraft is the fact that when it's a 1:144 scale, it's not going to be 100% accurate, but it doesn't matter because it's a good kit for just, testing your skills on, or just building for fun, to have a little tiny version of that aircraft. And it's, something that like a kid could put it together and enjoy it and not care what it looks like.
It's like ICM. A lot of people say ICM kits are no good, but the one that I built anyway, the only complaint I had about it was it had absolutely 0 alignment pins and none of the parts were numbered.
Wait, I know somebody who was bitching a lot about no alignment pins recently.
You what?
I know somebody who was bitching a lot for like 8 months about a kit with no alignment pins.
Yeah, I do too. What was that?
Was that a Revell kit?
It was.
The stand?
You what?
Was it just the scaffolding, or was the whole thing?
It was just the tower, wasn't it, Buck?
No, actually, out of the entire kit, I think there might have been a couple of alignment pins. In the shuttle kit had some decent alignment pins, I think. I think it had like 2
I was
per
going to say,
part.
because the shuttle kit is the same shuttle kit that they sold individually.
Yeah. But the tower, which it was the most extensive part of that, didn't have a single one. It worked out really well, but still, I was pretty irritated. So now that I've glued and used Solarez on these SMDs that have been in a box for the last decade or so, how many of them you think are broke?
That's the one drawback I'm in with Solarez.
The only reason I super glued them
At
first.
home, they're not going anywhere once you get Solarez on them. But if that LED dies, it's still not going anywhere.
But these are small enough. And these are small enough. They're all in injection marks. So if it comes down to it, I could just drill it out.
That's why my Millennium Falcon only has one headlight now.
Yeah. And that wasn't until it went out when you put it together.
Right. I'm thinking that I pinched a wire somewhere inside of it when I was putting the two halves together. But let's worry about it now.
So Lewis is back. He said all my model kits start off beautiful, then I get a hold of them and it looks like crap. No alignment pins is a good excuse for me.
So that actually fits inside there beautifully. There's no gaps or nothing.
Nice. Is that the Land Rover?
Yeah. That's almost too good to be true. I really like this Rebel kit. I was not expecting much, and it's proven me wrong. It's a really nice kit.
Man, I was hoping you were going to say I was not expecting much and I wasn't disappointed.
You know what's funny is I would actually the Italeri Land Rover. I honestly think that it's not as good as the Rebel kit, which I never thought I would say.
I don't know. I had a Italeri F-22, and that thing fought me from the time I took it out of the box.
Did you win?
My Blackhawk has.
I think it was a draw.
My Blackhawk has had a lot of weird issues and alignment issues. But it's also a 1/72nd scale, which is almost expected. That if it was the 1/48th, which I plan on getting to build that one as well, I think it would maybe be a little bit better.
What amazes me is some model kits go together they almost put themselves together. And then other model kits fit so badly, it's like one guy designed the top half of the wing and some other guy designed the bottom half of the wing, and they never talked to each other or compared their files or anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, look at you. They get done designing it and they're like, wait, you wanted to put this together?
What do you mean it don't fit? I designed my part perfect.
Well, it's like the Atlantis. Oh my gosh. So I've been told time and time again that some people swear that up and down that Atlantis kits are wonderful and they're amazing. And I would never buy an Atlantis kit ever again after the B24J that I'm building. That, in fact, the reason that nobody's ever seen a video of it is because it is garbage. In fact, I just kept building it just because I thought I can use this as a test model and maybe sort out some issues with it. But I haven't even. It's still sitting.
Atlantis kit.
Wait.
Yeah, I don't.
So, Caitlin, I have to say, you need to tell people these things.
Right?
Yeah. Well, that's what everybody said. They said you need to do a video on it, and I'm like, the kit is so unbelievably ridiculous that so for example, the wings. So it had the wings are three pieces. So you have the top, or you have the bottom, then the top, and then there's an end cap that goes on the very end tip of the wings. And that end cap, which makes no sense, why would you have a third piece as an end cap, is shallower.
Smaller.
It's shallower than the rest of the wing. So I had to literally keep adding and adding Bondo to the point to where I think there was probably as much weight in Bondo. And the problem with this Atlantis kit is it's got the rivets, raised rivets. So, you add Bondo, but then you're covering up all the rivet detail or trying to work around it and clean up the Bondo around these rivets. And it's like, oh my gosh, this is ridiculous. Like, why? I've never seen a B-24 bomber with a separate end cap for the wing.
Like I said, they probably did have to make such a large mold.
Yeah, I don't know.
So, guys, on the chat, GB said the Italy Land Rover is the old XE kit. Lewis said 2 guys doing the same job sitting next to each other but never talking to each other. Sounds like my office. And Dan just showed up. Hey, Dan, welcome. Just to catch you up, Dan, Donnie is working on a 240Z, but just has a paint plate. Kalen is, I forget what he's working on. Oh, the Land Rover. The Land Rover.
Oh, I forgot to switch the camera back. There we go.
And I'm working on the Queen Mary 3. 2, actually. And, you know.
Who else was working on the Queen Mary?
Eric. Sometimes.
Oh. Well, I was just wondering because you said you were working on the Queen Mary too.
Yes, actually. Well, and then there's Oz, which I believe his name is just short for Australian. He's building it as well. And Oz is actually, Eric found the guy that he's in a buddy build with, but Oz is in a buddy build with somebody as well. So right now that I know of, there are at least 4, and I think actually I've seen a 5th one recently. Queen Mary 2 is going together. I have no life. I live on YouTube and Facebook. Scuffing the wheels, Donnie?
Yeah.
Whoops. Note to self, if you push minus on the Dremel, it goes full bore rather than plus, which does just 1 level.
Really?
Yep.
Hitting minus and left?
If you hit minus from not on.
Really?
Yep.
If I push minus when mine's not on, it just doesn't do anything. Like, dude, you didn't turn it on.
Well, that's because you have like a real Dremel.
No. I have a cheap Chinese knockoff Walmart. What is it? Hyper Tough.
Ah. Mine is, let's see, mine is Mini Grinder 3.7 volts.
Probably made in the same factory.
Oh yeah, by the same guy. But mine was
Yeah.
made on a Friday.
I was really surprised by this thing because it was like $20, rechargeable, came with this, bits and stuff, and I've had it for several years now.
I've only had this one for about 6 months, but I use it almost for everything modeling now.
Right, that's what I use that one for.
And just to test it out, instead of taking my actual Dremel when they installed the 220 line to the hot tub, I used it to cut the ends of the bolts off that he left sticking out.
Really? Hey, as a testament to this thing, it drilled out all the windows on the Enterprise D.
That's cool.
If it can survive that, I'm happy.
Yeah, Dan, actually, I have just recently received another issue of Enterprise parts. I wasn't going to tell Donnie that. And
I heard you mention it in your stream the other day.
yeah, and the paint turntable, that yours looks just like Donnie's. So does mine, except I think I painted white over top of it. At one point, it looked like gore because I had painted red on it.
Mine's just the free one that came with the paint booth.
Same here. And since I have three of those exact same paint booths, I have three of them. I think I actually have
Well,
one I haven't
I
used
have
ever.
one.
Well, see, I need more. You know that. I just have to have more of everything.
I do too. I just don't have the money to get
Well,
more.
there is that. And you do know the rules of the game, right?
What's that?
He who has the most toys at the end wins.
No.
Yes.
No.
Why not?
And see who lives the longest wins because he can get the toys from the other guy when he dies.
Yeah, but see, that's the thing. I don't remember who it was, but somebody said that I have to build all my kits before I'm allowed to die.
Good luck with that.
I only have.
How many, how,
I only have.
how many kits on average do you build every year?
Well, it depends.
On
2020,
average.
2020 was a
I
bad
know
year.
that one year you built like 19, but
Exactly.
that was like a way outlier.
I
What
would
would you say, 6?
I would say depends on the kit. If I build
Well, I know, but I'm just saying average.
I could. Well, average I would say
Okay,
is
Let's
probably
say
about.
10.
I'm.
Let's say you build 10 models every year. You have over 400.
I have almost 500. I'm good for 50 years.
Right, that's what I'm saying. You're 57 now, so you'll be 107 when you get done.
That's okay. It all depends on Eric too. I sell him some of them,
Right?
but
You're Eric's personal model shop.
yeah. But no, and see the thing is, what slows me down a lot is I spend most of the time I build big kits. The year that I did 19 kits, I was building small kits.
That was also the year that I built like 15 or 16, something like that. That was the year we were all off for like 2 months during COVID and all that.
I was never off.
That was great.
Yeah.
2 months building models all day. That was great.
Well, and the other thing is, you got to think about it. I build slowly because, well, like I get involved in conversations and stop building here. Let's see.
Right?
Oh, Dan said my last shipment was just before Christmas, waiting on issue 6. I think I'm on issue 20 or something. But no, the speed build at the end of the year, I proved to myself that I can build a lot faster. I just don't.
Oh, yeah.
No, Enterprise, I am on issue 12. Which is really terrible. Oh, by the way, Caitlin, you were talking about, the kits and all that. And my problem is they keep coming out with kits that I absolutely have or have to have. Enterprise, if I knew now, or if I knew a year ago what I know now, I wouldn't have done. My wife would have been shocked, but I wouldn't have done. The Ghostbuster car, the Iron Man, the London bus, the Batmobile, and the Titanic from Agora, those are all, I gotta have those. Especially, I haven't started it, but I also haven't heard anything bad about the London bus.
Yeah,
I haven't seen anybody building the London bus yet.
I have, but it's because it was released like 6 years ago, and it's one of those that I had thought about it, and it would have been a lot of fun to do, but to be honest, if I could get my hands on the Revell plastic London bus, I'd buy that.
I'm not dragging it out. There's 7 kits on top of it. You mean the one that I have on my shelf that I paid. You're gonna hate me for it. You're gonna hate me. You ready to hate me, Kalen?
Sure.
Well, I'm gonna let you make a guess. How much do you think I paid for it?
Well, back when you probably bought it and paid a decent price for it.
Well, hang on. Back when I probably bought it.
$60.
Well, back when I probably bought it, so December. I bought it from a shop via eBay from a shop in France. And I paid $69 plus shipping.
Nice.
I know. Those are the reasons I keep going back to eBay. Uh-oh.
It's fixed.
It's fixed?
Uh-oh, what?
Yeah, we're unfrozen now.
How do you know?
You're frozen?
Oh, you just... And they're back. Okay. You went and looked over at YouTube, didn't you?
No.
What'd you do? Are you
I don't know.
Are you like 15 seconds in the future? And that's why you got
Yeah.
Lee's...
I told you there was a glitch in the Matrix. I had gone back to check it out. It was to let you know.
Ah, okay.
Anyways, I'm gonna hop off here and try to maybe get something to eat and see what I can do outside of the office here.
Yeah, I got to do that later too, but I still got an hour and 10 minutes.
Yep. I'm gonna think I'll film putting the rest of this together and then maybe try to get some clear coats put on it tonight.
Cool.
So, all right, I will see you guys later.
Enjoy.
Later, Caleb.
I might actually get all these wires glued down to where I can do something with them on the back end shortly. When I first had the thought of doing this, I wasn't going to just run the wires across the floors, but I'm like, it's such a small area. If somebody's looking in there for wires and they won't go, hey, I'm going to say it was built that way by me on purpose.
Love this little chrome pin. It's as chrome as the chrome was.
Is that the one that I don't know if it was you or Omar that posted on Discord?
Now that was Omar. I might get those because one of them is a really fine tip.
Yeah.
The one I have is a wide tip.
Okay. I actually have those due to show up to me tomorrow, I think.
I actually found this one at Hobby Lobby.
Cool.
Gundam Marker EX. Works really well.
And I just realized something. I always put the chat over one of the windows. I have the Discord window up, and I put the chat over top of one of the Discord windows. I had it over your window, Donnie, and I just realized, why don't I put it over the window that I know what's going on in? You know?
Let's put it over to the side.
I do, but right now I've got them side by side.
Well, that's why I have them, but I have the Discord window slightly smaller than the screen,
Uh-huh.
and then the chat over in that little spot.
Yeah. Well, right now I've got it over top of, it's covering about a quarter of my window. So
Kenny was asking if I ordered a Grissom. Not yet, I haven't, but I'm going to.
I was going to say the same thing. Great minds think alike.
I want that Grissom.
Yeah, I had it on pre-order with Cult TV, man. So when I got the email last night, I'm like, okay.
Oh, so you've already ordered one.
Yeah. I had it on
I
pre-order.
haven't ordered one yet. I'm going to get one though because it'll go great with the 350 Bird of Prey and the 350 Enterprise.
Yeah. Well, the key thing to remember with Cult TV, man, is never pre-order and forget to cancel if you're not going to get it before it comes in. I haven't had that. I haven't had that happen to me, but his policy on his website is if you do a pre-order and you don't buy it when it comes in, you don't do pre-orders anymore.
You can't blame him for that, really.
No, because he has to buy the kit outright before you get it.
Right. He bases how many he orders on how many pre-orders he gets. You know, he'll buy one for each pre-order he gets, and then a few to put in stock. Well, if half the people that pre-ordered them decide they don't want them after all, then he's got way more stock than he'll probably sell for a long time.
Man, I hope there's something wrong. Well, that would fit. Okay, so I'm sitting here trying to test this light. And I hook up the red wire, then I hook up the black wire. Well, the black wire is for a different light. And I was like, man.
Isn't it working?
Exactly. What model do you wish? What model do you wish they would release?
Or you have a bunch of wire, a bunch of lights, and you're bringing all the wires together and twisting them together so you can test them all at once.
Yeah.
And one little wire falls out and you don't notice it, so you're like, "Shit, I got a light that don't work."
Oh, I like the one where you got one that it jumps right across the resistor, or you hit it on the wrong side and the light just goes poof.
Done that too.
So Lewis says, what model do you wish they would release? Trying to think.
350 Reliant.
That would be cool.
That's my favorite Trek ship.
I'm just trying to think, and I'm trying to think outside the box, something that isn't already a kit.
Yeah, well, I just like the Reliant because 95% of the Starfleet ships are saucer, neck, body, nacelles.
Yeah.
And then the Reliant comes along like, neck? Who needs a neck? We don't need no neck. Just pop them nacelles right on there.
Well, then you should really like the Defiant.
Oh, I do like the Defiant.
So Kenny said a model of Buckman and his goofy hat. GB came back with, you can buy them from Disney, Kenny. Yeah, Kenny, including models of me.
But
Yeah.
back when me and Eric were kidding around threatening to come raid your stash and stuff, why didn't you just tell Eric you're going to put goofies all over your stash and then he wouldn't have touched it?
I didn't think about that at the time. To be honest, it's a good idea, though.
Drat, foiled again.
What?
When Eric runs in and sees goofies everywhere.
Yeah. Actually, I think he would just push them aside.
I don't know. He seems to have a really strong aversion to Goofy for whatever reason.
I think it's just a thing that he suddenly started doing because he saw... Well, no, actually, I know exactly why. Behind me, the Christmas Goofy, last year when I set up the shop out here, I put that Goofy up there, and ever since then, Eric hates Goofy because he's like, it's Christmas is over. Get rid of that thing. And I'm like, nope.
No, I think when Eric was a small child in school, there was some bully that dressed up like Goofy and beat the crap out of him or something. I mean,
I didn't do that many times. So here we go. Oh, so Lewis is being kicked off because Nat wants to do some filming. What the hell, Nat? And Kenny said Christmas is never over. I agree.
have you took the Christmas tree down yet?
Us? Or Kenny?
You.
Yeah, we took it down a while ago. This year, because the asshats that cut our shit that we had out there over the summer, we didn't do a whole lot. But next year we're all better now, and we're going to go nuts.
Really?
Yep. Kenny says he still has a small white one up. Yeah, we're gonna go all out again like we usually do, because now we have cameras out there. So if some asshat comes to cut our shit, we may not catch him, but we have proof of who they are.
You need to just set up like a motion sensor out in the yard, hooked to a tape recorder with the tape in it to place the sound of a machine gun through a PA speaker. So they walk in the yard, snip.
Yeah. Well, actually, if the alarm pops on, or if we get a notification on our phone and we go to it, we can actually, if we see something that's going on, it has an alarm, and it's not your norm. It's not just a beeping. It sounds like those alarms you see in the movies.
Right. I'd still like to see their reaction when I think somebody just unloaded a machine gun at them.
Yeah.
Of course, you may have to clean the poop up out of your yard, but
No, I leave it there as proof that that's what happened. Okay. So I'm going to leave these wires for now, because I'm not sure how I'm going to break it down. I'm sitting here looking for there it is. Next deck up. And with the way I put those lights, %90 of this is going to get covered with. Never mind. I just realized something. I'm sitting here talking about light blocking this piece here. I have a piece of wooden hull that goes over top of it. Or not wooden hull, but wooden.
decking.
Yeah.
Yeah, that.
I was looking for this earlier. Let me see. Oh yeah, lots of photo etch to go in there. That's going to come later. I'll be back in a minute.
Your wife's got a bad back, Kevin. You should get her to join HLI. She'd fit in with Kenny and Buck and Eric. They've all got bad back. Oh, so she hurt her back in the wreck. Yeah, that's one thing I've noticed since we moved up here to Murfreesboro. You not only have to watch out for how you drive, you gotta watch out for how everyone else drives. Ridiculous up here.
And I'm back.
You were gone?
Yep. Truthfully, actually, I just fell asleep, but have to be nice to Nat as well, since she, for the time being, she wrote off your car and has a bad back.
Yeah, he was saying that she hurt her back in the accident.
Ow. You know, Kenny, Chicago, the drivers there are the same way. They're just plain asses. I mean,
That's what I was just saying. It's that way here too.
yeah, well, Chicago, it's funny because I've realized when I was up there, if you're doing 55 and a 55 going through Chicago on the interstate, you are going to have an accident because somebody is going to hit you from behind.
Yeah.
You have to go at least 75. And some people
Well, the thing I love about drivers up here is they'll run a red light, almost hit you, and then blow their horn like it's your fault.
well, it is your fault. What are you doing there? No, in Chicago, it's funny because I was doing like 10 over one time, and this cop come up behind me, and I'm like, shit. So I just moved over to the right lane, and he went past, like nothing was wrong. And there was,
Yeah, I mean, they don't really mess with you around here for being like 10 over.
yeah. Well, see, that's the thing is in Chicago, I don't think they mess with you unless you're like 25 over. It's insane how they drive up there. Ah, okay. This is not wood. It's a different, I don't know what it is. I figured out the key anywhere where it says Africa brown mat for the wood. That's where the wooden decks go, which is really interesting. Hang on.
I think
No.
they just say deck.
Well, see, this kit, like a lot of them, is just it's the normal kit with extra parts. So 117 or 17. I'm just looking because I rearranged the paints, put them in numerical order. Why? I don't know. I just did.
Oh,
And actually, they did a really, really good job of it. Because there's the deck and there's the color of the paint. It's not exact, but it's really close. So that means that jar of paint will probably stay shut for a long time.
Hey, bud.
Yes, sir.
I'm not gonna make fun of you having your paints arranged because look at mine.
I know we all do it at some point.
One row of reds and yellows and oranges, one row of blues, one row of greens, one row of grays and blacks,
Well, see
and then the browns are over there.
the tester's paint. There's no rhyme or reason to how they're arranged because I arranged them by number, and brown can be next to purple.
I can't do that. I cannot.
Well, the reason I did it is if I'm building a tester's kit or a sorry, not tester's paint, the Revell paint. If I'm building a Revell paint and it's got the call out with the number on it, it's a whole lot easier to just look over there and say, okay, there's the Ferrari red, number 34.
Yeah, but I can't do it.
Hang on. Well, all us cripples, Kelly got rear-ended. New Jersey is animals, how they drive. New York was aggressive. New Jersey just plain assholes. Kenny said he's trying to pimp out the Grissom board. Lewis said, where I live, you get a ticket for being 3 miles over the limit. Kenny was like, holy crap. It's like that in a lot of Europe. In Germany, you did the speed limit. You did not go over. And on the Autobahn, here's a funny thing about the Autobahn. If you're doing 130K and there's an accident that you're involved in, you're okay. You know, it's whoever was at fault is at fault. If you're doing 131K and there's an accident and you're involved on the Autobahn, you're at fault. No matter what. It was your fault because you were going too fast.
I thought the Autobahn had no speed limit. Or used to. I know it does now, but used to.
Even back in the 80s when I was there, it didn't have a speed limit. It had a suggested speed limit, and a lot of places actually did have speed limits.
I know over the years, they put up speed limits where they were doing construction, and they just never took them back down.
Well, speaking of speed limits, one of the best speed limits in construction is one of the best things I've ever seen them do. And it was funny because the Germans knew that they were going to nail a bunch of Americans. They were doing some construction by Spangdahlem. A lot of people lived out the direction where they were doing the construction. It was on the other side of the base. And so they put up speed limit signs on Memorial Day, dropping it down to 30K, 30 kilometers in this one area and 50 kilometers in this other area where it was normally 100 kilometers through the whole thing.
I was going to say 30,000 miles an hour?
Yeah, exactly. But what was funny was that they nailed a lot of people. Like they nailed hundreds of people on that day, including my wife. And all these people were going to have to go to remedial driver's school with the wing until the wing looked at the statistics of how many people they nailed and said, no. Construction wasn't going on. They had just put the signs up. No warnings whatsoever. No. Tore up all the tickets.
Gotta be kidding.
No, the wing tore up all the tickets. In the UK, whoever's the bigger vehicle is at fault now. Wow. Well, in my accident in Germany, the bigger vehicle was asleep in my lane. It was my fault, or it was his fault. Literally demolished my car, but I walked away with it, or from it, without a scratch, because at the time the Air Force did not believe in chiropractors. And so even though I had a compressed spine, they didn't do anything about it.
You didn't walk away without a scratch. You just walked away without getting fixed.
Yeah, I walked away. I walked away being a little bit shorter. So that is good. I'm just looking at how I'm going to have to bundle all these wires together eventually so that I don't have this massive wires sticking into the windows that are actually right there. Not actually windows, the doors that I opened in the back. Right there. I am liking how this came out, because even the light spots like this, I'll be able to just spray paint right over top of them. So I may actually have hull color on the hull by tomorrow.
Right along.
Yep. Well, see, that's the thing, is that if I wasn't, like I said earlier, if I wasn't doing lighting, I'd have been done with this part. This would be in the ship. Well, wouldn't be in the ship. I'd have to still do the paint, but I still have a lot to go on there. You stripped that, didn't you?
What?
That part you're showing, did you strip that first?
No, I'm just spraying.
Oh, okay. I just saw it going, turning left and right and back and forth. So I thought you were showing it off. I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
Now it turns out that you were just painting it. Boy, do I feel silly.
Then instead of it being nice shiny chrome like this, now it looks like this.
Looks real. Looks weathered a little bit.
Yeah. Did the same thing with the rims. I put a wash on them and then sprayed them.
I think that's going to be the
Looks better to me that way.
Okay, wish me luck. I'm starting on these balconies, which are very small. One down. Based on what Oz scale modeling was saying, only about 900 to go. Pedestrian is waiting in a crosswalk at a junction. You now have to stop for them to cross. And cyclists, they can do what they want, like turn in front of you and you hit them, it's your fault. Cyclists should have to follow the rules of the road. Here in Illinois, if a pedestrian is at a zebra crosswalk and steps into the side of your car, it's your fault.
What kills me is Tennessee actually has a law that says that bikers are allowed to ride in the traffic lane. And because of that law, you have bikers that will ride right down the middle of the traffic lane and they will not move to let a car by.
That's asinine. That's asking for somebody to hit you.
Right?
Speaking of really interesting laws, I don't remember why exactly I looked this up yesterday. I saw something that piqued my curiosity, so I looked up the laws about shoveling snow in Illinois. And a lot of places you have to shovel your snow. You know, a lot of states, if you get snow, you're supposed to shovel it because it's a nuisance. In Illinois, and it's interesting, Illinois and Missouri being right next together. In Illinois, if I shovel my snow, and unless I shoveled it, and you can prove I was intentionally being an asshat about the way I shoveled it, and somebody slips and falls, I can't be sued. In Missouri, you don't have to shovel your snow, but if you shovel it and you make more of a hazard and somebody slips and falls, you're liable.
Really?
Yep. Well, Illinois, they passed that law in '79, and the reason they passed it was because they didn't want people to decide not to shovel their snow because somebody's going to sue them.
Around here, they don't have laws about shoveling snow. They just say, "You got snow? Oh shit!"
How did that happen?
Eric, that's how.
Yeah. Well, it's like I said to Eric the other day on Discord. I quoted James Kirk because he keeps shooting his weather at me. And I keep getting the cold, but none of the snow, except for this last time. I said, like a poor marksman, you keep missing the target. He hits you, he hit Spence, he hit Kenny. I think he might have hit Mark once or twice. Actually pleased with how these are coming out. I mean, take a look. Let's see, what is it? 9,
Nice.
13. That's not bad.
There's only, 150 or so of those?
Pardon?
I said, and there's only, 150 so of those?
No, about 900. 900 all said.
Wow.
Yeah, so Lewis said, not here. Cyclists can be riding in the middle of the road and turn left in front of you, and if you hit them, it's your fault. Kenny said, I looked that up as soon as I got to New Jersey. You don't have to shovel, and if you do, you don't get those sidewalks. And if you do, and you don't get those sidewalks cleaned and no ice, they slip and fall, you get sued. Wow. If that was the law, I would shovel to my car and be done with it.
Exactly.
And actually, we have one guy in the neighborhood who owns a snowblower, one that I know about. And Kurt is very nice about the snow blowing, because what he does is when he gets his snowblower out and does his yard, he walks up one side of the street and down the other side with the snowblower and clears the sidewalk. You know, just a small foot-wide path. But that way everybody else doesn't have to do it.
Cool.
Are you making furniture for the balconies? Lewis, if I was going to put furniture,
little tiny hammocks.
it
There
would.
you go.
This model
You've
would
already
take.
worked out how to make hammocks. Now you can make little tiny ones.
Nope. This model would take me 10 years. because I would make the first one and then I would put it away for 6 years. Okay, so I haven't sprayed this paint yet, but brushing the Revell paint is great. Not having it slop up on the walls at all. Of course, I'm using the tiniest brush I could find. It is a step above a toothpick. And along with these two,
Wait, I gotta switch it to cameras.
along with these two sets of balconies, there's two more that are actually a little bit bigger further up on the ship.
Like this one, but
Close. And where's my camera? There. That's the. Did focus for a second. That's the one I'm using.
you got those tiny short ones.
Yeah.
I don't like the short ones.
I like it because it grabs just the paint I need. The only problem is that the paint is starting to dry on the brush.
That's why I don't like the short ones. The longer ones have, even though it's a really thin brush, there's enough of a belly there to the brush that it holds enough paint it doesn't dry as quick.
Well, this one didn't dry quick. I think that's probably enough that I should rinse the brush.
In the brush.
Yep.
Kenny says put nude sunbathers by the pool.
You didn't see him when I held up that piece with the pool? They're already
No, I
there.
didn't.
Look. Where is it? They're already there. Don't you see them?
No.
Well, there you go. Guess you can't see the Emperor's new clothes either, can you?
Nope. I would say that those nude sunbathers probably exist about the same as the Emperor's New Clothes did.
They do.
Oh.
So I have a good system going, and I'm sitting here thinking maybe I should switch it up. And I'm like, no, don't do that. You always do that, you dumbass. Don't switch up what works.
Well, the thing that kills me is I usually get a good system going on something like that, get a good rhythm going, and then something comes up and I have to quit for a while.
Yeah.
And then you have to start all over again. You got to get back into the rhythm again, and by the time you get back in the rhythm, something else comes up.
Yeah. Well, fortunately, my wife likes my models, when I build them, enough that she tries not to bug me when I'm building, or especially if I'm on a stream.
That isn't too much.
I've actually been eyeballing these balconies for about 4 days.
Oh, really?
Yes. I do that. That's why some models take me a long time, is because instead of just doing it, I stare at it and I contemplate it and go, how do I do this best? truthfully, what I need to do is just get in there and do it. I've actually been eyeballing the hull for about 2 weeks. And then I finally went, I was about to spray color on it, and I was like, wait a minute. I'm going to jack this up if I don't prime it.
Check this out. Get the little indent in here for this little piece to go in the wheel, like that. But here's the picture on the instructions.
That's weird.
They have that part turned around backwards.
Further on, is there something that, no, actually, that no matter what you do, that would fall off of the brake stack.
That's what I'm saying. It goes like this.
Yeah.
That's the back.
Hang
What
on.
goes in there? There's a little recess for it to fit in and everything.
Hang on. Look at your next step.
The next step is just putting the tire on the car.
Right. And that's a rubberized piece, right? That little piece that you put in there? No. That little piece that you put in.
No, it's plastic.
It's plastic.
All of this is plastic. The only rubber is the tire itself.
Well, see, the thing is, when you glue that onto the peg for the tire, if it's on the backside like that, everything can fall off. That indentation is for the circular part around the peg that attaches it.
Oh, I'm saying. That's the way it goes together right there. But they're showing it in the instructions as
No,
if
what I'm saying is the peg that attaches it to the car.
No. The
Trust
peg that attaches it to the car just goes in that hole.
Right. But if that piece is on the inside of that recess, and that's the part you glue to it, then it can just pull off. Bring up the axle. You'll see what I'm saying.
Yes?
I want to point at it. The part that is attached to the car.
Go ahead, point.
The part that's attached to the car, where it actually attaches to the car.
So you're saying all of this actually goes inside the tire?
Yeah. It attaches to your brake or your inner wheel. If you could actually literally push that against the axle on the car, and then
That over this little piece?
yeah, I bet you that indent that you've got that you're putting that one piece in is the same size as that piece. There's that circular piece around that axle.
I don't know. Let's see.
If it fits into that indent, that's the way it's supposed to go.
It fits into the indent with a little room to play.
So that it'll spin. Because if you put that black piece you had back in there from the outside, that should firm it up.
I'll give it a try. I've never seen one that went together like that. They always have the little indent on the inside for that little collar to fit in.
Well, if that's the way you think it needs to go, then do it that way. But I think it goes the other way.
No, I'll take your word for it, Buck.
I don't do that many. I haven't done a car in years.
I've done one in years.
Okay.
So,
actually, Kenny's done one too. What does Kenny say? Kenny, I just looked. Kenny says put nude sunbathers by the pool. That doesn't help right now.
Hmm.
Wait, did you just drop the mic? Sounded like
Do
it.
what?
Did you just do a mic drop? It sounded like it.
No. It doesn't fit together that way.
If it doesn't fit together that way, then do it the way you were going to do it.
Let me try another one. Maybe there's a little piece of plastic in the way or something.
My paint is drying out.
There. Maybe.
Okay, Lewis is heading out. Thanks for stopping in, Lewis. Have a great
See
evening.
you, Lewis.
Have a great evening and be safe tomorrow at work.
Tamino won't glue plastic to rubber, will it?
No, I don't think so. The rubber should be just friction fit.
Right, but you can't glue the two halves of the hub together this way.
I don't know if Tamiya will. I know that it won't. Chrome is kryptonite for glue.
Right, but I sanded the chrome off.
Oh, okay.
But if you put these two pieces together, see the gap? Oh, focus. All the way around.
Uh-huh.
You can't glue it that way. The plastic doesn't actually touch together.
There should be a part inside the chrome piece where it touches. Something's got to be holding it apart.
Right, these little fins.
Those little fins go inside the wheel?
Well, that's what I was saying. That's the way the instruction shows it. That those little fins go inside the wheel. That's why I was saying I think it's backwards.
So it's back.
See, on the instructions, it shows it like that. Those little fins inside the wheel.
Yeah, the little fins should be outside the wheel.
Well, that's what I was saying.
Okay, I was misunderstanding you. I was thinking the little fins inside the wheel and then the black part inside. But no, you're right. Turn the little fins around. I am almost, not quite, to halfway across this one piece.
Well, it might go the other way. Because with it that way, the little plastic thing falls down inside the tire.
But then the little plastic thing, when you attach it, actually glue it to the hub, should get trapped to where it can't fall inside.
It doesn't, though.
Well,
maybe the little fins do go inside the wheel.
I just chalk it up to Eric built it.
Works for me. I'm gonna sand down the corners of these little.
My glue keeps drying, or glue. My paint keeps drying out. Oh no! Damn it!
What'd you do, Buck?
I was able to get it off. I painted the top of this wall completely.
Oh, you could just go back and paint it the other color.
The other color is just bare plastic. Actually, I did spray some gloss white on here, but it's small enough you won't notice. And by the way, I don't know if you noticed, but I switched over the bigger brush.
Did you?
Yep. I'm actually very pleased with the coverage. And yes, these are really small.
Maybe a larger brush with a really good point works so much better than a tiny brush.
Yeah. I'm pleased with the coverage of this because I'm still working on 2 drops of paint.
Nice.
Which tells me maybe I made enough. Okay, I've added enough water that it's starting to lose the cohesion and coverage. So let me clean both brushes. I didn't clean the little one.
Especially acrylic paint. If you add too much water, the acrylic molecules can't lock together.
Yeah, well, and that's the thing is as it dried out here in the thing in the dimple, I just kept adding a little bit of paint to it, or not paint, but a little bit of water to it, and broke up the dry chunks. So make sure the brush is clean. I'll just do 1 drop, so maybe it doesn't dry out as quick. Or I use it before it dries out.
I was gonna say, if you're gonna add less water, it's gonna dry out quicker.
But I'm not, see, that's the thing. So this is straight out of the bottle mixed. I didn't add any water to it.
Oh, really?
Yep.
I thought you said you were adding water to it.
I added water in here. In the palette.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. No, I didn't add water when I mixed it.
No, I never add water to the bottle of the paint itself. I always add it in the palette.
Yeah. Well, when I get it, not the beige, but the burgundy and the gray. When I get ready to spray those, I'll be adding the some water as well as the flow improver.
Right, but I still don't do that in the bottle.
Yeah.
I do that in a little. I have little plastic cups. I do that in these little plastic cups.
You weren't here earlier when I talked about the Stynylrez, were you?
No, I love Stynylrez.
So do I. That's what the primer on the bottom of the hull is. Put the
That's about the only primer I buy anymore.
I put the 6.6 actually millimeter needle in, changed the cap, and it laid down like nobody's business. I mean, it almost painted itself.
I usually add just a drop or two of flow improver to it, just to help it self level.
Yeah, I did that as well.
But I mean, I've heard people that swear by Vallejo primer, but I mean, I can add flow improver, water, drying retarder, whatever, and I cannot get it to lay down as good as the Stynylrez does.
That's because you're supposed to add chicken soup.
Oh, is that what I'm doing wrong?
Yep. That's my
Did not
story, and
know
I'm
that.
sticking to it.
I didn't know the chicken soup rule.
Well, there you go. Of course, what's funny is anybody who's listening to this and then goes, "Really?"
Chicken soup?
Well, the funnier part is when they try it and then they put in the comments that your chicken soup method didn't work for shit.
Right. Well, you know, a lot of people swear by using Lindex to thin their paint, but to me, Lindex would break down the paint.
I've done it. I'm not, it's neither here nor there. I think water is better. I think alcohol might be a little bit better because the thing is, what you're trying to do is get it to dry faster when you're doing that. You're not trying to thin it so that it blows or flows better. You're trying to thin it so it dries better.
To me, when you're airbrushing, you don't want it to dry fast.
You don't want it to dry fast. You want it to dry medium. You want to get done airbrushing and then it starts drying. Because like when I did the hull earlier,
And
some of the spots
if you're trying to get a really smooth coat, though, you want it to actually sit there for a while before it dries,
yeah.
so that it self level.
When I did the hull earlier with the Stynylrez, some of it was dry by the time I put it on the stand to sit there and dry. But I also know at
Yeah,
this
that Stynylrez dries pretty quick.
well, I also know at this point after doing that I don't want to use a full cap next time because I have less than half the ship to go, and I used a full cap and it worked really well. for about 3/4 of it. So I want to use less, maybe a quarter cap at a time at this point, so I don't end up with more paint than I want.
Yeah.
Cup, actually, sorry. Where I said, you delete where I said cap and make it cup.
You were confusing me.
I was
don't get me wrong. Not particularly hard to do.
I was confusing me. And Kenny just said, "See, editing." No, Kenny, we want people to hear this stuff so that they screw up their models. It's more fun that way because then they come back and yell at us.
You want the live, raw truth.
Exactly.
Just like a reality show, man. No, wait, they edit those.
Yes, HobbyLink Survivor, HobbyLink International Edition. We voted Eric off the island last week. He came back.
Eric voted himself off the island like a year ago.
He did, but he came back.
Yeah, that was the alumni edition.
What's funny is even after 40-some seasons, I still watch Survivor.
I never did. I watched like 3 episodes and said, no, this is not for me.
The first one I ever saw was it was Tribal Council, the first Tribal Council. And I can't remember her name, but she was bitching out, I forget the name of the guy. She was bitching out the winner, just going off and everything else. And I'm like, lady, it's a fucking game. But actually, people get deeply hurt during Tribal Council. It's funny to watch.
The only season of Survivor that I ever watched, it was one of the celebrity seasons, and they had Alec Baldwin on there.
When did they do it?
I didn't watch it because I liked Survivor. I watched it because Alec Baldwin was freaking hilarious.
When did they do a celebrity Survivor?
They did one that Alec Baldwin and I can't remember who else, but Alec Baldwin was freaking hilarious.
Was that recent?
No, that was years ago.
Huh. Because, like I said, they're up to 40-something seasons. I've only seen like 38 seasons, and I'm watching it season by season from the beginning. And it's funny to watch people. Well, it's funny to watch people because the guy, I just finished a season, and the guy that lost, he was the one who got to choose to go, who went to Final Tribal. And he picked the guy that everybody knew would beat him. Even he knew it would beat him. And he was like, it's my life philosophy. I don't want to go against somebody who's not the strongest person available. I'm like, dude, that's $1 million stupid.
Right?
And Probst even does it. See, edit. I'm just reading Kenny's comments. See, editing, laugh out loud. Yes, they do, Kenny, Donnie, and we are stuck with him, meaning Eric. But no, it was funny because the guy's like, he knew he couldn't beat the guy. I forget the guy's name even, but he knew he couldn't beat him. Took him anyway. And Probst asked the jury if he had taken the Cass, which was the chick that he didn't take, if he had taken her, would you, or would you have voted for Wu? And everybody, it was unanimous except for one person said that Wu would have won. So literally, he gave the guy, Tony, that was his name, that he gave Tony, the New Jersey cop, that was for you, Kenny, but he gave Tony the win, literally.
Really?
Yep. Well, and everybody knew that if Tony was taken to the end, because he played a fantastic game, that he would win. And it's fun. I don't care who wins, to be honest. I watch for the social interaction, to see how people in a quote unquote survival situation with people 3 feet from them, that if they're starving to death will give them a cracker. No, I watch to see how people will act in that situation. So I just looked up at the clock, and it is
It
3.
is 2:58.
Yep, it's almost 3 o'clock, but I'm very close to finishing this, and I'm going to finish it, before I stop. So
Right?
I'm going to go ahead and leave the stream up until I get these balconies done. Only got about 40 more to go.
Out of 900?
No, out of just this piece. And I don't know if it's 900, 900 or not, but Oz on his channel said that there's 900 of these balconies, including these 2 pieces and the other 2 pieces. And I am not going to dispute him without at least counting one of these pieces up. Damn it. Did it again.
I can't believe all of a sudden Eric's not a sci-fi guy.
I think it's just a mood. Although not a sci-fi guy for models, I can see that, because I haven't done a whole lot of sci-fi in a year or so.
I haven't done a sci-fi model in like 2 weeks, 3 weeks.
Exactly.
I still have the Falcon sitting over here waiting to be weathered.
Well, Eric, if you look at his, I think it was the Missouri he did, either the Missouri or the Arizona. If you look at that, it was the Mighty Mo. If you look at that, ships, he is really good at.
He is. I mean, all of Eric's models turn out pretty good.
Yes, and he builds when he puts his mind to it really quick.
He does. Especially those dioramas.
Yes.
Those would take me forever.
It would take me forever to even come up with the idea to do what he's doing.
Well, my problem would be Eric gets an idea for a diorama and he goes, okay, I'm going to put this here and this here and this here and that there and that there and there we go, we're done. I'd be like, okay, I want to put this here and that. No, I don't like that. Let's put that there and that. No, I don't like that either. That would never get done.
And then when you get 5 or 6 things in, you're like, that first piece, it needs to go.
Yeah, exactly. Eric just bam, 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 and it looks good.
It does. That's where those dots are coming from. I was sitting here looking at the palette going, where does that shit in the bottom of the palette keep coming from? And that's when after I've thinned it down with water, and when it comes off of the balcony, it makes drops a spot on the center of the palette. I think this is the last round I'm gonna be able to use this dot.
That dot of paint.
Yep. So I'm gonna put down one more dot. That should finish it up, and that's actually gonna be 5 drops of paint. That's not bad for the entire thing.
No, it's not.
Like I said, good coverage, baby. That's actually about a drop and a half. Let me go back and redo these last two. See, and that's my problem a lot of times with doing something this detailed, is I'll get in a rush. I want to get it done really quick.
Yeah.
And that's
what I end up doing too.
Yeah, and then I end up splattering paint everywhere. Ah, did it again, damn it.
What'd you do?
Got more on the wall.
You didn't paint the wall at all?
I threw some, after doing the black and the white on the back there, I threw some white to cover up the overspray. But you gotta
I thought you said they're plastic.
They are almost. You gotta remember, this is actually back behind some holes in the hull. You're barely even going to be able to see these.
Right.
So now let me go back and look and see if there are any that jump out at me. Nope. So Kenny bailed on us. Time for him to bail. Catch you later. We'll see him on Discord, I'm sure. I'm not even sure how long that was. GB is still here. He said, later's Kenny. And Dan said, see you, Kenny.
Well, GB and Dan are still here.
Yep. So let me put this palette out of the way just for giggles.
At least there's 2 people we haven't bored to sleep yet.
Yeah. Exactly. just for giggles, and I'm not going to use the painted one, I'm going to use the unpainted one. I'm counting how many windows this thing is long. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 6, 8, 40, 6, 60, 70, 81. So let me just see. I'm lazy. 81 times 3 minus 4 for the two ends. I just painted 239 balconies. I was off with the 450 because the second one will bring that up to 478. And then there's other balconies, so it's close to a Titanic. So it is now 3:10. Went 10 minutes over because it was in the middle of something. Appreciate you guys stopping by. Like and subscribe. If you like this, if you've not been to HLI already, stop by HLI. I believe it's in the description. If not, it's in my other videos. And before I sign off, let me ask Donnie, you got anything you want to say?
No, just thanks for stopping by. Thanks for hanging out with us.
Yep.
We'll do it again next week.
Absolutely. See you guys next Sunday. The Sunday stream is every Sunday at noonish Central Standard Time. Yep, GB, catch you next week. Don't forget, I also have my Tuesday stream, and you haven't gotten a regular schedule yet, have you, Donnie?
Not really.
Okay, well, watch for...
I don't do any live streams.
Okay. Well, watch for Donnie's channel as well. He doesn't do live streams, but he does do videos, and he is really good at it. Talk to you guys next week. Have a great one.